5, 16, 19, 21, 33, and 10. Check results. You remember?
I'm salivating. Salivating like my dog. Like a dog looking up to you as you eat sort of anything. Right there, I've got, what is that, 4 pancakes stacked on top of each other. And what I can only describe as a me special, I make pancakes what they are. Here's the thing, everyone goes on about, oh, this is a great point actually. Is the phrase, oh, you've not exactly invented the wheel, or is the phrase, you've not exactly reinvented the wheel? Is the phrase, the best thing since bread, or the best thing since sliced bread? I feel like you put too much emphasis on creation and invention, and although there is something to be said for that, I'm an innovator myself, and I did not create pancakes. I didn't start with these ingredients. I'm not the first person to use these ingredients, but in the way in which I use them, it's never been done before. I don't know if we'll ever see anything like it again, and I'm a goddamn innovator. Okay, what's so great about it, you ask? You think I would tell? Let me ask you this: Did what's a good example? Does Mr. Krabs just tell Plankton the secret formula? No, he doesn't. Plankton is a competitor of Mr. Krabs, and giving that information away would be ludicrous. I'm not exactly just going to tell you the key to happiness. You have to find that on your own. Go out there, trial and error. Fall over a couple of times, scratch your knee, and hopefully one day you'll make pancake. Anyway, enough of this arrogant pancake talk. They're probably just bang average, let's be honest. Everyone goes on about, oh, I make it the best, I do it the best. Oh, you don't like pasta bake? Try Julie's. She bangs it out of the park. Oh, you don't like lasagna? You don't try me mother's. She makes a great one. Yeah, and it's just realistically, it's just your own taste. It's what you're used to. Is probably what you're gonna like the most. 71st day, and I really wanted to sleep. I just came back in. It's late. I made by the way, this is weird, isn't it? This is weird. I came back in. It's basically midnight, and I thought, you know what? I'll make pancakes. That will be my dinner. I literally said this yesterday. Skinny people, not healthy, live like shit, barely eat all day, and when they do eat, all they put in their body is what is effectively egg, milk, and flour. Yeah, I really need to get that in order. I need to fix up. I need a haircut, that's for sure. But yeah, I really want to, I say this all the time, all boohoo me. I really want to just say, what if I do it like 5 in the morning or something? But I want to wake up 5 in the morning and not feel like it or something. And it's a slippery slope when you start making sort of, how about this and how about that? The real issue is not me doing this right now. It's the fact that I'm watching the heat just drift away, the light leave its eyes as the pancakes sit behind me. But hey, needs must. The only real thing I saw, because usually I'll scroll through it. I say this all the time, but I'll scroll through Twitter or something. I'll screenshot the stuff that catches my eye. And the only real thing I think from today it is today. Yeah, was that? God, days got long, aren't they? Michael B. Jordan. New movie coming out, Creed 3, with what's his name? Black man, Kang. Last black man in San Francisco. Kang. Other films, but was just in Ant-Man. Jonathan Majors is in it, and everyone loves it. It's really good. It's like 90%. It's certified fresh. That's as good as an Oscar. And he's in that. He's on the red carpet. Woman interviewer, whatever, journalist, whatever they're called, media woman on the red carpet. There's hundreds of them, not really, but there's a lot of them standing along the way, and you got to stop at some of them, and they'll ask you, what was it like fighting in a film? How excited was you to get back for this one? Oh, do we reckon we could see you for a fourth? Oh, who win? Like, just asking the most bang average questions, but it's just what they're told to ask. They're not coming up with them on the spot, and they're all pre like decided and pre-approved, and it's just saying, it's softballs. We just want to let them shine, right? So I couldn't even watch this video, by the way, because the title alone cringed me out. So I was like, all all of this, but is me guessing, which I shouldn't really do. I should probably watch it, and then at least my opinions will be like in fact. But all it was is she's interviewing. She walks up to him, and then Michael B. Jordan's like, he's kind of like, we went to the same school, right, kind of thing, because he says, you used to call me, what was the word? I need to remember the word. Corny. He goes, you used to call me corny in school, You used to call me corny. And she tries to like move the interview along. Like, she was like, I don't remember saying that or something like this. And he's like, no, you called me corny. But she's just trying to be like, I don't remember saying that. And just trying to ask the questions. But he's like, hangs up on it and it's like very awkward and stuff. And as soon as I was just like, okay. And I saw the screenshot and I watched like 5 seconds. I was like, I've got a really bad cringe level. On this, I just got to say, like how every single footballer makes a tweet or a point of saying, this teacher said I'd never be nothing. They said I'd never make it. They said I'd be trash. Or look at me now, Mr. Smithers. Look at me now. Steve Harvey, I always see this thing come up every year about how Steve Harvey buys his old teacher a TV every single year because he said he would never be on TV when he was a kid. And it's just like all this stuff, all this like me, bloody main character syndrome complex going on. And it's like, you kind of need that to be successful. You kind of need to feel like the world's against you, have a chip on your shoulder, feel like you got something to prove to get to like a certain level, I think. But as much as I agree you need that, it's still just an annoying trait to look at because, first of all, if that's true, buying a television for your teacher every single year because you was on TV, he's probably just looks at you and is like, oh wow, you proved me wrong. Good on you. And you've had this, like, you've held this onto your whole life that he said you'll never be on TV. And by the way, firstly, for people as old as Steve Harvey, it's like fair enough, teachers are different back then. But it was probably because you were being a nuisance in his class and he was just trying to teach you maths and you was just like not listening. And you was like, I don't need to listen because I'll be on TV. And he probably said, oh, you know what, shut up. You're not going to be on TV and learn maths. You're not going to be on TV if you can't count. He probably said something like that. And Steve Harvey kept it for his whole life, got on TV and now buys him a gift. And also, all the teachers who are nice to you get nothing. But the man who said you'll never be on TV gets a new TV every year. I don't know if he's getting him like a box. I'm assuming it's like a nice new digital 60-inch Samsung every year. New edition. So it's like, wow, you're really proving that point against me. I get a free new TV every year. Fair play, Steve. But yeah, when modern people say, modern footballers or actors, or Michael B. Jordan fits in his threshold, people come out and say, I'm just so happy to be here. I remember everyone told me you'd never make it, you'd never be anything. It's just like, maybe you got subtext from certain things people said, but like going out and straight up saying, people said I would never be anything. How many times, how many teachers I've never once heard the teacher the actual words, oi, stop, you're not going to be anything in life. Now listen. No, it's usually along the lines of that you're not listening in their particular class. They ask you what do you want to be when you're older. That you say footballer. They say, the odds of that are really slim. You should listen in maths because you'll probably need that. And then they just take it on as like, what? Not every teacher's job is it to like facilitate whatever dream yours is. They're just there to teach what that lesson is. It's not something to like hold something against you. And they're not thinking about you when they go home. They've not got like a notice board up with a picture of your face on saying he'll never be anything. When you see him 20 years later and say like, yeah, told you so. That they're just going to be like, oh wow, congrats, you made it. You were the one in the million. Well done. They're not going to be like, oh darn, they just. Anyway, so back on Michael B. Jordan saying he used to call me goofy. It's the whole subtext of it is just him trying to get to the point of this awkward thing where he's just trying to say, you used to call me goofy and no, not goofy. You used to call me corny in school. Used to call me corny, basically being like, I'm on the red carpet right now for this huge movie that's getting to make a load of money and is doing well critically, and he's basically saying, well, I'm standing here on a red carpet. He's like, the play, I just hate it. You're like a reporter, so you're like below me. Even if she probably thinks I've done well for myself, I've made it into this industry, I'm kind of the top of whatever my industry is. He's like, you're a reporter and you're interviewing me. You used to call me corny, like he wants some kind of apology, and it's like, first of all, she says she doesn't remember. She might just genuinely not remember. It might not have been that big in her head. And I don't. If it came from someone a little bit, I don't know, more goofy, it's not like, it's hard to believe Michael B. Jordan was not popular in school. So I doubt it was like you were being bullied, you know? So it's less endearing to be like, you know, for me to believe this little storyline you're putting on here. But also just like, you used to call me corny. I just hate the dynamic you're putting these people. Like, you used to call me corny. And you know what you're doing in that moment. You know you're being recorded. You know people are going to see this. You know it's going to look good on you. Like, this woman used to call him corny. Now look at him. He's like a boxer in this film and he's like millionaire or whatever. But even if she did, right? Even if she did call you corny, maybe you were just corny, man. And now you're an actor. Like, it's not like she's DMing you on Instagram the second you got famous, like, hey, do you want to hang out now? All of a sudden, after, that'd be different. She's just doing her job. She happens to be doing it for Creed now. You're the actor in Creed. She's doing her job and interviewing you, and you're taking it now as a time to publicly be like, you used to call me corny. Well, look at me and look what you're doing right now. You're interviewing me. Maybe you were maybe you were an annoying, corny child, you know? And she called you corny a couple times in school. Like, the fact you've held on to it, remembered it, and are now using it. And by the way, we're all adults now. Well, I called you corny when I was 14. Wasn't even fully developed yet. You know, it's just like, how are you holding people to, like, the person I was when I wasn't even a person, when I was like a literal child, 14 years old, probably in like middle school or something, whatever they call it in America. It's just weird, man. And like, it's not exactly like she bullied you every single day you came and she stuck your head down the toilet and you're like scarred. She called you corny a few times in school. Like, I'm not being funny. Michael B. Jordan probably said far worse to people, or at least the same level. And lucky for him that those kids just got to be accountants, so they don't get to laugh in his face. But I just didn't like that. I didn't like that in particular. I just thought, you're going to hold someone to something, even if they did do it. Like, oh, what, no, trying to act fake, like you're my friend or something, but you used to call me corny. I was 14. I was a 14-year-old. Yeah. And I just, it caught the eye. Anyway, I've neglected these pancakes too long. It doesn't feel right for me not to eat them. I think yesterday may have been a tenner as well, which is a shame, but don't worry. I'll sort it out. It's just that I can't leave these pancakes any longer, and that's all I had on the brain, was the fact that Michael B. Jordan was slightly main character syndrome-y. And that's all we got. But to be fair, it does make sense. He is a actor who is constantly playing main characters. That complex would make sense. And like I said, you do need it. The most successful people will have that chip on the shoulder, even if there's no need for a chip to be there. What did I say this was, 71? I think I did say that. So if that is the case, 72.
Here with the kids, and had like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet. He was like a hero.